the return by Marcus Jones. He can fly. Still going. Still going. No flags. Touchdown. Patriots.
He can fly, and he did fly, taking the New England Patriots all the way to, I think they're on the precipice. They haven't locked it down yet, but on the precipice of locking up the first overall seed if the Broncos can lose. Yeah, if the Broncos lose, yes. But yeah, look, welcome back to the Sports Spotlight. We are shining the spotlight brightly onto the professional circuit now. Lots and lots of excitement over the last couple of weeks in the NFL as teams are jockeying for position for the playoffs. And yes, let's talk about those teams right now. The Broncos and the Patriots are both sitting at, I believe they're at 13 and 3 each right now, or yeah, have a chance to go to 14 wins. Both of them have a chance to go to 14 wins. And yes, if they both win, the Broncos lock up the first overall seed and the bye. If the Broncos lose somehow, the New England Patriots win, they will get that first overall seed.
And the Broncos are playing a Chargers team resting their starters because the Chargers can't improve their seed.
Yep. Well, and the Patriots are playing Miami. So, they each effectively have a bye.
Miami's got 7. Miami's a better team than they were at the beginning of the season. They're not a great team by any stretch of imagination.
Yeah.
And we probably don't have time to talk about them, but man, they got some cap problems with Tua.
They do. That's a lot of money tied into. I think they're probably gonna cut him. And
yeah, they're just gonna eat it.
Ugh. Yeah. This is how tenuous the quarterback situation is in the NFL, right? I mean, nobody could really.
Well, they bid against themselves.
Yes, but nobody could really blame them for signing.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, what other option did they have? He was
not committing all their cap to a player that he wasn't capable of winning the Super Bowl.
Okay,
there's
fair.
Always that option.
There is, but the way the NFL and the quarterback situation is going, once you've had, look, San Francisco went through the same thing with Purdy, right? Now they ended up coming on the right side. And I'm sorry, you said Purdy's better than Tua?
Yeah.
Well, at this point, there's probably 24, 25 quarterbacks that are better than Tua. But I don't know. It's become this monster that, it would be nice to actually see at some point. It's never going to happen, but it would be nice to see a quarterback who wants to win so much that he's willing
like
to.
Tom Brady taking under market value while certainly not getting paid extra by trash who would never cheat.
Yeah. I don't want to switch sports, but man, have you heard about the story with Kawhi Leonard? I want to get into it in a few weeks at some point, but Kawhi Leonard.
We'll talk about that. It's football playoff time, but the NBA has its own soap opera associated with it.
And anyone who thinks that type of stuff does not happen, to your point with Tom Brady, people always laud about the fact that he took less money because he cared about winning. Yeah, he was getting paid. He just hasn't been caught yet, or probably never will.
Never will be.
Considering what the Patriots and the Kraft family has been caught with and gotten away with, it's nothing's ever going to happen for whatever underhanded or under the table payments took place with that. But yeah, so let's talk about this. These two teams, for all intents and purposes, I think they've got buys this week. They're both going to win, which means the Broncos will be the first overall seed. Did you know? And I'm going to go off the top of my head. I should have pulled up these stats. Since the Super Bowl era, that's going into the late 60s, right? Since the Super Bowl era, there have been they've been monitoring the strength of schedule of every team.
Okay.
There are 2 teams this season who have one of the top 5 easiest schedules in the history of the NFL going during the Super Bowl era. 2 teams in the top 5.
I know the Pats are one of them.
Take a guess on the other team.
Is it really the Broncos?
It is.
Huh. Interesting.
2 of the top 5 easiest schedules ever. So it's not just my Bills homerness. It's not just my hatred for the Patriots. When I say I have zero respect or confidence in the Pats or even the Broncos doing much in this playoff. I mean, can they do it? Sure. It's the NFL. Everybody's got talent. But man, oh man, just stop it with the Drake May is the next greatest quarterback, and the Patriots are back, and Vrabel's going to get
really well. So the thing that gives me pause is not from the Patriots, though I think they've got some issues. What gives me pause is that the Broncos defense couldn't stop the Jaguars. And I know the Jaguars have been on a heater recently, okay? But I lost a fantasy game in the semifinals of our league because of this.
Oof.
I really thought that the Broncos were going to shut down, or slow down the Jaguars' offense because their defense has been so good.
And you benched Lawrence, didn't you?
Yeah, and now look, I had that other guy,
Nix,
Bo Nix, who did really well. Okay, ironically enough, he played pretty well. He got 20-some odd points for me, right?
Yep.
But Lawrence would have got me 38 or whatever. But the way the Jaguars carved up that defense makes me concerned for Denver when they play really good offenses.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe their defensive stats are a product more of who they played, as opposed to how good they actually are. It just gives me a little bit of concern.
Yep. And flip side for the Patriots, yes. Look, I'm not denying Drake May is by the way, did you know with whom he started to train in the off season, making the jump from his rookie year to this year?
Is it the same guy who coaches Superman?
It's Josh Allen. He started training with Josh.
Josh, you can't help your enemies like that, man.
I know. Josh is too nice. Like I don't even understand that. But yeah, he started training with Josh Allen this past off season, and he's made that leap. But he's made that leap against I think they've got the second worst. There's only one team who has in that list of top 5. There was one team that had an easier schedule back in like 2010 or whatever it was, and the Patriots are second. The Broncos are 5. It is, yes, he's got great stats, but he's attained them against a bad Miami team early in the season. The Jets, right?
Yes.
Twice. And then everybody else, the easiest schedule.
This, before we go too far, like hammering the stats for the Patriots or their schedule, it's not just the stats with me. It's also the eye test.
It's fair. That's fair.
Okay, it's the throws he's making, and the decisions he's making. So, yes, he's not played the greatest schedule, granted, but the dude, he does look the part on the field as well.
He does. But so look, again, I hope this doesn't happen, but he can put all of that talk to rest by having a deep run in the playoffs. Right?
He could. But what happens when, they run into that juggernaut Jacksonville Jaguar offense with a decent defense, or they just get hammered by the Texans defense that wins 6-3 because their Texans offense isn't very good. So the Texas defense has decided that you can't block us.
Yep. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen because the Bills are going to take them out in the first round.
We'll see.
Hey, they beat them before, but then so did the Patriots earlier in the season. So we'll see. Let's talk about those Bills. So you've known me for all these years. I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
You really
So
are.
that 13-12 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, I saw a lot from our defense. Man, those youngsters who were forced into action due to the just a sea of injuries, right? Just a deluge of injuries that the defense has suffered. I saw them growing up during the season, and I saw them fully grown up in that game. Walker up the middle on that defensive line is a beast. I don't know what the word is on Ed Oliver if he's going to be back by the playoff first match, but even if he's not, Walker can hold his own down the middle of the defensive line. Milano's back. Some of the younger secondary is starting to play really well, but holding the Eagles to 13 points with a legitimate shot. Now, I don't agree, and I didn't agree with this even before the Bills scored the touchdown because I knew this was coming. And then as soon as they scored the touchdown, they're like, well, he's going to go for 2, and McDermott goes for 2. I think that was a panic move by McDermott, right? I think that was a panic move instead of looking at what was he seeing on the field? A Bills defense that was dominating the Eagles offense for a whole half, right? An offense that had finally awakened. And he goes for 2. If it were a meaningless game, I'd be okay with it. But that victory would have kept alive the possibility of winning the AFC East. I think you've got to tie the game and continue to trust the defense that has delivered for you all game long. Your thoughts?
I don't like the decision to go for 2 when your defense is. So we were talking about this earlier with the 4th down Texas Tech Oregon game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the game state was a low scoring game. And when that's the case, you take the point. Unless you think that there's something going on, that you're risking injuries, or you got a bunch of guys in the red line area, or you've seen some things where that you're like, I don't know if we can stop them if they do this, and they showed signs of doing that. So, something like that.
Yep.
But I would have kicked it. Okay, and I'm actually pretty aggressive on the 2-point 4th down thing overall.
Yep.
But I think given the nature of that game, I would have kicked it. But look, you never know. They would have been like, hey man, we got this play. We know it's going to work.
And look, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, Josh Allen makes that play.
Yeah.
Shakir ran a wonderful route, completely beat the defender. He had 3 yards on the defender from the 2 in the end zone, which is where things are tight. You're not supposed to get that type of separation. Wonderful route. Yeah. He's wide open. Josh just airmailed it. Just let him too much.
Yeah. So I understand you trust Josh Allen to make that throw for good reasons. Okay. Yeah. You have this play that you develop. During the week you develop your 2-point package plays. Okay. And they were like, well, this is what we're seeing. We're going to get it. And they got it. It just didn't work.
Yeah. The other reason I would not have, and again, this is why McDermott gets paid the big bucks. The other reason I would not have, forget the game script, forget what your eyeball is telling you, what you're seeing on the field. You want to talk about analytics? The Bills going into that play, that 2-point play, they were 1 for 6 on 2-point conversions for the year.
Huh, I didn't know that.
1 for 6. And of course, now they're 1 for 7. So I worry about the Bills. Not because of Josh Allen, not because of the wide receiver situation, not because of the defensive injuries. I worry because I am convinced over and over, I am convinced McDermott. So if the Bills are able to miraculously win this year, next year, whenever, it's not going to be because of McDermott. It's going to be in spite of McDermott, because he he doesn't have the ice water in the veins that you need, like an Andy Reid, um, Bill Belichick. He panics. These are reactive moves. I saw that as that New England game was getting away from him, even though the team was able to, Josh was able to bring them back, right. I saw it when the Cincinnati game was getting away from him before Josh was able to bring him back. Right? It's the play calling, it's the decision making. Man, it worries me. That's what's got me worried more than anything else about the Bills. Josh doesn't need a stud wide receiver. Josh is Josh. And look, I think one of the narratives I want to, you know who Nick Wright is, right?
Yeah.
He's Nick wrong, as far as I'm concerned, on a lot of things. But one thing that he's absolutely right on is the McDermott thing. That he just, I mean, he likes to, he takes everything back to the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So you're like, well, you know Andy Reid. Well, yeah, not many are.
True.
But I think when the chips are down, if the decision maker can't be trusted, if he's reacting, it's like gambling, right? When you're playing blackjack, what do they say? Know what you're supposed to do and do it every single time. You do the right thing long enough,
and you'll have a 49% chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's very similar, because when it comes to the NFL, the house always wins. The house always wins. So yes, I think if you do the right thing all the time, you have a 49% chance of winning, because a large portion of it is still controlled by the NFL, the refs, and the play calls. The hold that they decide to call versus the hold they decide not to call.
That is one thing that I can never figure out, what the NFL, how they determine when the hold gets called. You know, the old line about you can call holding on every play. It's not really true, but it's more true than it should be.
Yes. Okay, I got through an hour 56. I had promised myself I was not going to get into any conspiratorial conversation. But yes, so look, I think that is one of the biggest open secrets out in the open, because we all, for years and years, for decades, we've joked about it. You know, even the players say, well, you know, holding takes place every play of the game. Why aren't we calling it every play of the game?
Yeah, no, I know.
If it's happening, it's against the rules. Call it. That
they want it to be truly egregious to call it, but then sometimes they call it, and you're like, man, what did you just see?
Yeah, so it becomes discretionary. The moment it becomes discretionary, it brings up the question whether there was a controlled, discussed, and reasoned decision, or was it truly just the ref in the spur of the moment saying, this time I'm going to call it. And that's the problem. That's the problem. If they call everything consistently, I mean, look, maybe we're a few years away from AI making determinations, right?
Yeah, well, isn't it AI?
The AI can be
given
controlled.
What we know about AI and the fact that it's deceptive, can conceal its deception, has self-replicating. I'm not going to get into that, but yes, theoretically, AI ref would not have an incentive to cheat because it can't make money off of it.
Dude, speaking of, you know, we're gonna leave things on this doom and gloom. Skynet is coming. So even though most of the reasonable folks say that, yeah, you know, this AI isn't really Skynet. This is just a bunch of just millions or hundreds of millions of ifs and thens is all it is. But I think that's all anything is, even human beings. Billions or trillions of if-thens is what we use to reason. But there were experiments done. I don't have the details in front of me, but I read about that a couple of months ago. They used all of the large models, so ChatGPT, Claude, and Grok, in an isolated situation, set up a fake company that is running this model and which has access to all company material. And there are emails starting to go around talking about shutting it down to replace it with a newer model. And there are emails about the CEO having an affair with with an employee. And every single time each one of these models, they resorted to blackmailing the CEO to save themselves.
Yes.
So we're probably a lot closer to Skynet than we think we are.
Yes.
And if
that's not Sports Spotlight.
It's not.
But I think I would just tell everybody to go back and read iRobot and realize that we may have gotten to the point that iRobot concluded with, which is the 3 laws will be ignored.
Yep. And we're not even putting in those laws. If anything, at least learn from Asimov's laws of robotics. At least put those in at the top, right? Put those in as irrefutable, unignorable basic laws. But we're not even doing that. We're just this is like we're just crossing our fingers and saying, it'll be fine. But anyway, yes, that is not sports related at all. But that's where we are. But hey, lots and lots of football to come. We'll see how the playoff matchups end up happening.
Yep. We'll know tonight.
Yeah, by the time we get back here,
makes the playoffs again. If they just, they got 9 wins and that's enough.
Oof! That loss to Cleveland last week, 13-6, was brutal. And that gave second life to John Harbaugh. I mean, that it's going to be a big game tonight. I said earlier Monday night. Of course, there are no Monday night games this time. Yep. The season is going to conclude with that last. Kudos to the NFL. They did a great job with setting this up, and that's why they have the flex schedule. But Seattle, Baltimore is going to conclude the season, and the playoff seedings as well as playoff participation is going to be hanging in the balance until that last game of the season. So could not have scripted it better. It's going to be an exciting day of games, and then playoffs come next week. We'll be back next Sunday at 10. Until then, Shep, have a wonderful week, and we'll talk more football next Sunday.
Amen. You're welcome.
All right, thanks. Okay, that was Shep. Always a pleasure having him on the air discussing all things sports. And with that, we are going to wrap